So in this video we're going to learn how to move objects with the hand, make them bigger and smaller and rotate based on X and Y. And also we're going to look at particle systems. So we can make something like this. Also when I open my mouth you'll see some tears and some flames out of my mouth. We'll also learn how to make add GIFs onto it, and also how to paint with the hand, so like this, using particle systems. So we'll start again with shearing effect, and this time we're going to add a hand tracker. So just like the face tracker, anything you add underneath it will follow your hand. So there. So I just added a plane. You can add objects, 3D objects and everything as well. Another thing to notice is it only records position and not rotation. So it doesn't matter if my hand is rotating, it doesn't do anything. So to add a sphere to the hand instead, just go AR library, 3D objects, and 3D shapes here. And you can choose any of these, but today we'll just use this sphere shape and import. I'll add a texture to it too. So in the material, we'll choose this texture, earth text. I'll put this texture in the folder in the description as usual. So now you see I have a little earth that follows my hand around. So for the next part, we don't want it to follow the hand. We just want it to control it with hand movements. So what we do for that, we just drag this out of the focal distance so that it stays constant like that. So the first thing we want to do, we want to change the scale based on how close the hand is. So to do that, while the sphere is selected, click this on the scale. Then you can drag the hand tracker down to the patch graph as well, and you'll see you have an output for 3D position. So drag this into an unpack patch. First of all, we need to see the position of our hand. We want it to zoom. So let's say we want it from here to about here, does the zoom. So we start back here and have a look. So it says -0.6. So we'll drag this to a from range. So we'll have a look again here, -0.6 to about, let's say -0.3. So the minimum is -0.6 and the max is -0.3. And then we multiply this by, let's try 2 for now. Then we'll drag that to a pack. And drag it to all 3 of them. So now when I move my hand, it gets bigger and smaller. So because we don't want it to be 0 ever, before this, actually after this pack, we'll just add the minimum size we want. So I'll put it at about 0.8. Let's see now. So yeah, we got the scale going. So now we want it to rotate when we move sideways. So it's a similar process. We want to go with the X value. We want to see when the furthest to the side is. So let's say -0.17 and +0.17. So we'll do from range again. -0.17. And 0.17. Then we want that to multiply by how many degrees we want to rotate. So let's just try 90. And then another pack. And we want it to be the y-axis that's going to be rotating. So there'll be X, Y, Z. So we connect it to the Y. And then connect this to, while the sphere is selected, click this rotation arrow. And connect this. So let's see. It's rotating. So it's not rotating as much. So we can just change the degrees here. So let's say 360. Cool. So as well, if you want it to rotate on the X as well, you do the same thing. So let's see, we can just copy this whole thing again, and instead it will be the Y from the hand tracker. And then instead of this top one, Actually, let's just try add this to the X value on the pack. Okay, so it's sort of backwards. So let's go negative 360. Sort of. It's a pretty cool effect from using the hand to control objects. So you could easily replace this object. So I'll try a different object here. So I'll try do it with the shoe. So let's say the application could be something like maybe a try before you buy online store sort of thing. So this is what it's like with the shoe. The scale still works and the rotate works. So now for the next one, we want to play with particle systems here. So you'll see by default, it just throws one in the middle and shooting up. So we want to do this rain thing. So first of all, we just want to turn it upside down. So you can see here on the Z, it will be 180 degrees. And then put it near the top. And you also notice the type of emitter is at point. So that just means that all the particles will come from a single point. You can change this to line, plane, or ring. So we'll just need line for now. And now you see they're coming out of a line. They're spawning in a line. And you can change how long you want that line here. So let's go 0.5. Now it's falling from a longer radius. Also, we want them to drop a bit further down. So that's changed by the lifespan, how long they live for. So let's go 2 seconds. And then also we would like to put an image on each of the particles. So to do that, you scroll down to material, create a new material, change it to flat, and then choose a file. So I'll make a folder in the description again. So let's go drop. And then because I set it to white, that means I can change the color in here. Let's just put it as a blue. Click back on the emitter. And let's say I don't want it to be randomly going in different angles. So I think that's this one here is the Z. So now they should all be just dropping down. You can have fun with this. Like for example, let's say you want all of them to be spraying like 15 degrees. Now they'll all be going that way. And then you can match it with, I think it's tilt. So let's say 15 degrees as well. Negative 15. So now they're tilting the same way that they're falling. That's a cool little effect already. And what you can do as well, you could add this whole thing to a face tracker. So let's drag this emitter into the face tracker. Now what that's doing, the rain is following my head. So I will change this to 0. Let's go to, and increase the birth rate a bit. Maybe a bit too much, 30. And also I think the scale is a bit big. So actually I'll just try this 50. So what this does, it randomizes between 50%. Let's go smaller. Yeah, that's cool. And then to make the effect more obvious, we can add a little cloud to the top. So I'll just find a cloud on Google. Actually, I'll just put the cloud image in the folder as well. There's a cloud here. So we can add it to the scene. The usual shortcut way: animate, spin, move this, delete it, and put it on the face tracker. Then just position and size it. Standard to flat as well. There you go, you got a little rain cloud over the face. So for the next one, we'll do something similar. Under the face tracker, add another emitter, particle system. And then we want to rotate it so it's facing away from the face. Let's make it just 90. And then we also want to position it so it's near the mouth. I think that's good enough. Again, we'll change the lifespan to 2 seconds. Make the spray angle back to 0. And first thing, we'll set this material. Flat, choose a file, flame. then we have to change this to screen. We got a little flame thing going already. I will say as well, the scale probably needs to be a bit bigger. Let's double it. Actually, for the scale, we're gonna link it to the mouth openness. So again, drag the face tracker down to the patch graph and then face into mouth open. Then this openness is going to decide the scale of the particles. So click the scale here, and then we see that the max is 0.2. So we'll just multiply this by the same 0.02. Now when I open my mouth, it decides the size of the thing. Let's go a bit bigger. Let's try 4. As well, because you can see all of these are facing the same way. So I'll do a little, I think it's tilt. Let's do this 100. Now they're all coming out at random angles. It looks a bit more real. And I think let's up the speed as well. So we can duplicate this one, put this one around where the ear will be. Actually, let's do it by the eyes. And then we're going to make this its own material. So click this little down thing, create new material, flats, and then find the tear, the drop again. So we want to get rid of our random, the tilt. Probably set it to, let's say 270, and birth rate lower. And then to make it look like it's falling with gravity, we can just do acceleration, and on the Y go minus 0.1. Let's say minus 1. It looks like it's falling a bit. I'll change the scale as well, maybe a bit more, 300 to 30. Change this color to blue as well. Then we can also change the spin. Let's try 90. So now you can see that the tears are spinning down a bit. Let's try even more, 180. So this is like the angle per second that it's going to spin around. So they're starting facing up and they're going out a bit further. Let's try speed a bit less even. 3 is good. And then we'll duplicate it and put it to the other side of the eyes. So here we go. These are the values you want. Minus 120, 250. So we can also do the same. We can link these to the scale down here for both of these. And we'll probably want to multiply by something else. So let's try 0.02. Now it only happens when our mouths are open. So what's happening at the moment is the fire is blocking, the images of the fire are blocking the other ones. So what you want to do, select these bottom 2 materials and change these advanced render options. So what do we have? And then move the fire one to the bottom here. And voila. Here's an example as well of a particle system that uses a sprite sheet GIF and animation sequence like we learned in the previous video. You can just, the exact same way, but just set the, so all you have to do is set the material of the particle system to the animation sequence. So you can see in here, my thing is set to sparkle, which is the animation sequence down here. And here's another way to use it as well, to sort of like a draw a paint sort of thing. So all it is a emitter under a hand tracker with the speed at 0, and then you'll see that it places things wherever my hand is, and I can sort of draw with this. So you can play with maybe upping the birth rate. So I'll restart this again so that it draws a bit more. You could change the color of it.